Hey y'all, welcome to the AfroCentric Woman. Um, Testing. Okay, I think my audio is working. Yeah, so let me just hip you to the game on dusty hoovers. So you're not if you are not aware of the term hoover, hoover is a term that we use in terms of overcoming narcissistic abuse, leaving a narcissistic relationship. And like hoover has to do with like a vacuum, so it's like when they try to suck you back in to their web of destruction, when they try to basically hoover you back into an entanglement with them. That's what it is. And so most people who leave a narcissistic relationship, whether you're the one who left or rather they're the one who discarded you, um, you you still end up getting hoovered, usually. And it may be soon after the breakup or years down the line, but essentially it's very motivated by something that they need, especially when we're dealing with dusties in our community. It's very much a needs-based Hoover. So I noticed, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Because I, since you guys really don't know the entire story of my child's father, it's going to be kind of hard to maybe understand this story. But like I'm going to start like a few years ago, right? So a few years ago, he supposedly got remarried, and I thought that was a great idea because it's like he wasn't going to be bothering me. So I was really happy about that. And at the beginning, he was um, he's never been consistent in my daughter's life, but he was getting her like maybe once a month or something like that, or like maybe twice a month, or every other month. I mean, it just started to space out to where he really wasn't getting her at all. And, one of the big points of uh my boundary was that I didn't know where he lived. And my thing is like, you cannot take my child somewhere that I don't know where she's going to be. I'm a very stable person and I've been in the exact same area for 5 years now. So there's no mystery as to like where I am or where I have my daughter. I don't have her here, there, everywhere. I'm moving, I'm getting evicted. I've got 3 trash bags that I'm dragging down the street with my baby. Like, no, that's not the type of a life that I am accustomed to. That's not how I was raised at all. And so I'm a very stable person. So I'm like, you know where I live. So she can't go where I don't know where she is. What is the problem? What like what is the issue with me knowing where she is? And so since we could never agree on that, and it's not even a matter of agreeing, it's just this is just the boundary that I'm just not going to budge on. So if you don't want to acquiesce, I'm not going to acquiesce, and she just won't go over there. And so it's just a matter of maybe like seeing her at his sister's house, and then the sister moved, and so that kind of made things a bit more difficult. And then just long, I'm talking 6-month stretches, long stretches of absolutely no contact and um no visiting, nothing, right? Okay, so then maybe like last year around November, I got this text out of the blue, and it was like, "Hey, you know, my mom thinks that we should get back together." So so it's like he didn't wanna just say that, "Hey, I wanna get back with you." It's like, "I think my mom thinks that we should try and have a family." And I just ignored him. I was like, "Hey, you can call your child," And this is the thing, and this is how I handle narcissists. I don't display any emotions when it comes to narcissists. I'm extremely dry. Some may call it gray rock, but I don't I don't get emotional. I don't have strong reactions. I'm really very nonchalant about everything, and that really infuriates them because when they feel like they don't have control of you and they don't have control of your emotions, that is when that irritates them because they're trying to trigger you a lot of times emotionally. They want you to emotionally react because when you are triggered, they feel in control. And when you're very kind of matter of fact about things and kind of keeping things focused on what they need to be, like really the only thing that you need to be contacting me for is the child, right? But keep in mind, when I got that text message out of the blue about getting back together, he never asked about my baby. He never asked like, "Hey, does she have food? Is she, she's sick? I know COVID's happening. Where's her?" No inquiry of my child at all. And the reason why is because honestly, they don't love their children. And I think that that is the biggest hurdle for a lot of women. They don't want to accept the fact that narcissists do not love their children. They don't. And it's not about the kids. They don't give a shit about the kids. They don't. The children can be beneficial to them only if they are an extension of them or they're serving them in some type of way, or if the children are really good in sports and it makes them look good, or if the children look a certain way and it makes them feel good about themselves. That's why a lot of these narcissistic dark skinned black males try to create children that look nothing like them, not for the love of themselves and then loving a child as an extension of themselves. No, it is because they wanna see what they wanna see, which they wanna see a mixed child, right? So, narcissists do not love children. They don't have the ability to love anybody, not even their own children that come from their DNA. So, that's why he didn't ask anything about her. It was just about just some nonsensical bullshit about getting back together, and then he was calling me, and then he called and he asked to speak to my daughter, or I said, "Call and speak to her." And then he talked to her for about 3 seconds. "Oh, hey, how you doing?" "Oh, good. All right, put your mom on the phone." And then he's talking to me about this nonsense. So he didn't even it's been like over 6 months, you haven't even talked to your child, and you speak to her for 3 seconds, and now you're badgering me. You're coming to me with this narcissistic bullshit about getting back with you. No, thank you. So at that point in time, his sister started calling me like all the time. And I thought it was because she was kind of pretending to want to talk to my daughter, but she really wasn't. She was really calling to try to convince me to give her brother another chance. And in reality, she was really just tired of him because keep in mind, this struggle bandit is living in her house, right? So he was living with his sister. He met me. He moved in with me. He took his three trash bags out of my house, went back to his sister's house, got an apartment, lost the apartment, took his three trash bags over to his other wife's house, lived over there. She put him out. Then he carried his three trash bags back to the other sister's house, right? And she's tired of him and his trash bags. So she's doing everything in her power to try to get somebody to relieve her of him and his trash bags, because I know he's hard to live with because he's very entitled. He thinks he knows everything. He has a very low opinion of women, and keep in mind, he doesn't really have any resources. So how do you think that you're going to be the man of any house when you cannot take care of everything in the home? Number one, even if you were taking care of everything in the home, you would be quite intolerable because are just you're just intolerable. Seriously, not cooperative at all. Very just a very low opinion of women, right? So once I kind of catch on to what's happening, I'm like, okay, no. So I just stopped answering the phone. I just didn't want to be bothered. She kept calling me at least twice a week for a while, and then she finally gave up talking to me. I had a bunch of clothes that my daughter outgrew, and she has a little girl, so I was like, "Hey, I can give you some clothes. Whatever you don't want, I'll take them over to the Goodwill." And she's like, "Okay, sure." So I'm giving her the clothes, and she just I'm like, "All right, have a nice day." And then she's like, "Well, I just don't see why you can't let her go over there, and you need to." Oh, great morning, Mocha Mommy. Great morning. She's like, "I don't see why you can't let her go over there." And I said, "Well, you have two little children. She has two children right up under mine." I'm like, "Would you let your children go somewhere that you don't know where they live?" "Well, it's her dad." I'm like, "And I don't care who it is. My child is not going anywhere that I don't know where the address is. What is the secret? What is the problem?" I said, "If you want to call his wife over here to talk with me, you can do it. We can talk here at your house." "Well, you shouldn't be worried about her." "Why wouldn't I be worried about her? She's going to be caring for my child. If she can't sit down and have a conversation with me, then I'm not interested in anything that's going on over there." And honestly, I don't know if the woman is toxic or if he's just trying to keep everybody in a silo. And I think I'm going to lean towards the latter. And I think it's really him trying to keep everybody in a silo in an attempt to keep control over everybody. So you don't want the new person talking to the mother of your child, because he's probably told her God knows what horrible things about me, and I'm this and I'm that. And God forbid she talk to me and find out that I'm this sweet, loving, sisterly, wonderful woman, and then it's going to make him look stupid, right? So he needs to maintain this false, he needs to maintain this false image of me. So it's better to just keep us separated so that she can't see that I'm not the problem and that he's the problem. So that's what I really think is happening. So then that happened. So fast forward several months, and it's like I guess he's been over there, he's been back, he's been over there, he's been back. It's a mess on that end, but on my end it's totally peaceful because honestly I'm not dealing with any of it. After she after his sister made those comments to me, I haven't been back over there because I don't have a reason to go over there because I'm not going to go anywhere where people talk to me crazy. Like, I don't care who you are. You can be my child's aunt. I don't give a shit. I'm not going over there. And I had already tried to shut it down. I said, I'm not going to talk to you about this. And then you want to just keep talking about it. So then that means I'm never coming back over here. And I haven't been back. That was last fall. So it's almost been a year since I've been over there. And I have no intention of returning, should things remain as they are. So fast forward to this year. So I'm trying to think. So like maybe like within like the past couple of weeks, he's been calling a little bit more often. Tried to do family counseling. You can check my video on family therapy with a narcissist, and you can kind of get my raw reactions to the co-parenting therapy session, which was you can't co-parent with a narcissist. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I mean, I think that the goal was like just to establish a visitation schedule. That's really what the purpose was, because I know that you can't co-parent with a narcissist. It's impossible. So yeah, so he's been calling her maybe like for the past week. Then it's getting bad because he actually asked my little child if go ask your mom if I can live there. And that's just ew. It's just gross. Like, ew. But narcissists are very immature, and they are very self-serving, and they don't care if they hurt a child in the pursuit of what it is that they want. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, I'm beautiful and I'm amazing, but it really has nothing to do with me. It's really about his 3 trash bags and the fact that he needs a place to lay his head down. And I think that this is the loop that so many women end up going back and forth with their child's fathers, because they are holding out hope that he has changed. They're holding out hope that this time it's going to work, or I owe him something because he's my child's father and he needs me. So I need to help him. And I don't feel that way. I don't owe anybody anything except for my baby. I don't owe anybody anything except for my child. Like, that's the only person that I'm spiritually and legally, contractually obligated to get into adulthood in one piece. That's it. Like, I did not push him out of my vajayjay. So therefore, he's not my responsibility. He is closer to 50 than not. You know what I'm saying? So no, no, ew. Like, it's actually quite repulsive, the idea that you cannot manage your life. You can't, you're such a bumbling, fumbling buffoon. You cannot manage your life. You cannot even the basic tenets of life is maintaining a roof over your head. This doesn't even make you a superstar. Doesn't even make you anything special. Just maintaining a roof over your head and reliable transportation, basic utilities, and food to eat, and healthcare. These are just the basic tenets of life, and you can't manage that. And you think you're some type of, like, you think some woman would be honored to, like, sacrifice her life to take care of you? No, thank you. I'll do another video about um how I healed him from his chronic illness when we were together. I'll do another video about that, but it's not my job to mend you, you know? And the thing about narcissists, which used to be really frustrating, it's like he'd be like, "You don't ever ask how I'm doing." I'm like, "Hey, do you have anything for her?" Because it's like, whatever you want to give it. "Hey, do you have anything for our child?" No, I don't have any money. I'm so sick. I'm so this. And it's just like that victim mentality. And it's like, who gives a fuck, man? Pardon the F bomb, but I have had the flu and I had to mother. I got COVID. I had to mother. If I'm depressed, I have to mother. If I'm anxiety, I have to mother. We had 3 deaths in the family last year. I had to mother. Like, I don't have a get out of mothering free pass card that absolves me of my responsibility to my child based on how I wake up in the morning. Oh, I don't feel like mothering today, so I just won't. No, we don't have that choice. But these narcissistic males don't feel any parental obligation to their children, and feel a sense of they don't feel a sense of loyalty or provisions for the family at all. So if you ask them for something, or if you're requiring something of them, they're just going to hit you with all the different variations of being a victim. Oh, woe is me. And you're just like, where are the violins? Let me get the quartet of violins to play you a little ditty and you sing your song. Go for it. Go for it. Walk it off. Like, what kind of like pansy, devil, like, what, what kind of soft little, like, walk it off. Get over it. I don't care that you're sick. And it's not even that I don't care that you're sick. Just because you're sick doesn't mean that the child doesn't continue to need things. And I'm like, even if I'm on my deathbed, God forbid, I want my child. I want to see her. I want to be with her. Whatever I can do, I will continue to do, because that's what parents do. Not like, oh, I have a cold, can't be a dad today. But that's just how they are. And I think that these are incredibly tough pills to swallow for many women. They don't want to accept this. And we have a lot of preconceived notions of, oh, it's her dad. I have to. No, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Sometimes people are going above and beyond. They're going above and beyond even what the court order says. It's like, do you realize how little these people value children? And a lot of times they're getting them because they have to, because they're forced to, or because people are asking them about it and they know it makes them look good. So they're like, oh, yeah, I got my kid. But it's not even that they genuinely love the child. And do you really want your child around somebody all the time that doesn't even genuinely love and care for them? So he texts me and he's like, can I live with you? And I was like, my brother has some properties. I was like, my brother has some properties for, X amount of dollars. And then I left it at that. Like, that's about as far as I'm willing to go. I will give you my brother's phone number. You can call him and you can go live over there in one of his properties. So he was like, oh, how far is it from the hospital? That's not a real question. And that's really important that you understand that a lot of times, um, yes, sis. Hi, Sissy Isa, or is it Aisa? Welcome to the live, sis. Yeah, asked to live with me. And I was like, call my brother. Or I was like, no, my brother has a property for X amount of dollars. And he's like, oh, is it close to the hospital? It wasn't a real question. He knows that it's not. A lot of times these narcissists ask questions because they just want to engage you in conversation, but it's not a real question. They really don't. He already knows the answer to the question. So guess who didn't respond? That would be me. I didn't respond because you're not serious. If you wanted to live in one of those properties, the next question would have been, give me his phone number so I can make arrangements. But you asking me, oh, is it close to the hospital? That's you trying to be the victim. Like, oh, I'm so sick. I need to be by the hospital. I don't care. How many times have I been sick and I suck it up? I still work. I still take care of my child. I still take care of the things that I need to do. So you're not going to come over here with your 3 trash bags and 4 violins and think that you're going to get sympathy from me. I don't give a shit. I have a whole child that needs my sympathy. And she needs my patience. She needs my compassion. She needs everything from me, not your grown ass. I don't owe you anything. I don't care. I really don't. You can go to a homeless shelter. I don't give a shit. You will not bring your 3 trash bags over here. I wouldn't even let you sleep in my car. I don't give a shit. No. Your family raised you. They created the monster that you are. Let them deal with you. They don't want you. That's a shame. This is the thing about these 3 trash bags. You've carried your 3 trash bags to Europe. The European woman don't want you. You carried your 3 trash bags to America. This American, I don't want you. You carried your 3 trash bags to Africa. The African woman don't want you. You're undesirable. You're a mess. You're underdeveloped. And you're a burden to women. And you are useless to your children. Completely useless. So, no. Hell no, it's not safe. It's just never gonna happen. Like, I love my peace. I have a peaceful home, and regardless, like, I, I'm not in the business of taking care of grown adults. That's not like my mission in life, is to like raise a grown man. I'm very definitive when I make up my mind about things. And that's a quality, that I have. I don't go back and forth. The first time he carried the 3 trash bags away, they never returned because I had already made up my mind. And it's not something that you just do on a whim. I had been thinking about it for weeks. I had been thinking and observing and really playing out my options and thinking about what is my life going to be if I continue down this path? And I just couldn't see anything positive or good about it. So that's when I made my decision. You have to get these 3 trash bags and you need to go. And I was like, you have 3 weeks. But he took the 3 trash bags like in 3 days, which is fine. And I was just like, all right, there we go. So now let's figure out where we're gonna go from there. No back and forth. Oh, I'm with my baby daddy. Oh, no, I'm not. We broke up. Oh, my baby daddy slept over. No, nigga, you ain't sleeping over here. And one thing that I had to realize, like narcissists do not recognize boundaries. So we couldn't even be friends. Like I am a very resourceful person. So if you're going through something or you have something going on or whatever the case may be, I probably do have a resource to help you. As far as the medical community is, I do know the right questions to ask to get the exact information that you need to get this and this and that. Patient advocacy, yeah, I know how to navigate the hospital system very well. But the problem is you don't recognize boundaries, that I'm not your woman. I am just a friend. We're kind of like family a little bit because we have a child together. But this, just because I'm helping you to try to keep you from dying, doesn't mean I want to get back with you. But since narcissists don't understand and they constantly violate boundaries, I just like, well, you just have to die. If you're going to die, you're just going to have to die because I can't be involved with your care at all. I can't be involved with anything as it pertains to the logistics of your life because you don't recognize that this isn't an invitation to try to pursue me. I don't want you. I don't want you. I've told you that in 4 different languages that I don't want you, but you are not getting it through your head. And you don't respect the boundary that I have communicated in 4 different languages. And the next step is braille and sign language, that I can communicate with you that I don't want you. So, um children also need peace to grow up healthy and happy. Yep, absolutely. Hey, the Atkins bar. She's laughing. Yeah, it's absolutely not the woman's responsibility. There are a lot of men who are homosexual, go from woman to woman because they cannot support themselves. Absolutely. And I think that, because women can have such porous boundaries that they just allow these males to come in because they feel sorry for them. Now, is it a sad, sorry situation? It is. It is a sad and sorry situation, but that doesn't mean that I'm obligated to do anything about it. And other women are not obligated to do anything about it. Like, men go out into the world and produce for themselves. Why am I more masculine than you, as feminine as I am? That's a shame. Men go out into the world and they fend for themselves. And women do themselves a great disservice by rescuing these bums from the street and cleaning them up. It's like cleaning them up for what? The next woman? And what do they learn? What is the lesson in that? Carrying their 3 trash bags from woman to woman, from their sister to a woman to their sister. I mean, I know it's too many underdeveloped males like this. There's just too many. And I think that really the interesting dynamic with these homosexuals, with these males with their 3 trash bags, is when we have children with them. Hold on, y'all. Okay, how's she gonna knock on my door and then talk about hold on? But yeah, it's interesting to have to navigate that, and we're witnessing right now. There's a public breakup on social media with a woman who is parenting with a narcissist, and I already know the challenges that she's going to face because her narcissist is particularly malignant and violent and grandiose. It takes a lot of savvy, it takes a lot of documentation, it takes a lot of detachment to deal with these narcs when you have your children. But the most important thing is that we have to put our children first, and we have to put our children before what society says that a male is entitled to. Hold on, y'all. She's funny. I'm going for a walk and I will listen, but stop chatting now, but have fun. Thank you, Sissy, for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Um, but yeah, these are the things that we really have to become savvy with as Black women who have children with narcissistic, underdeveloped males, is how to navigate and keep our children safe. Because society says that we owe giving access to our children to the father no matter what state he's in. And the family courts honestly have not caught up with narcissistic abuse. Most family courts have not caught up with that. The sort of what would you call it? Um, the quiet abuse, right? The silent abuse, the non-obvious abuse. So as long as the child returns alive, the family court really doesn't have a problem. As long as the child comes back alive with no obvious uh, physical marks on them, family courts oftentimes won't really get involved. So that's when we as mothers have to really be savvy and think about, okay, the total well being and stability of my child, and thinking about the long term um, qualities and relationship building and character development that you want to instill in your child, and who are the best influences for that child. And oftentimes some of the most destructive people that could influence your child will be their own family, will be their own father, right? And so how do you mitigate that? How do you navigate that? It takes a lot of savvy, and you really have to be very self-motivated, because if you let society tell you what you need to do with your child, because, well, I've talked to so many women who are afraid to look because Black men keep saying it over and over. You keep keeping me from my child and shit like that. Like, they say stuff like that. And there's so many Black women who are afraid to be labeled as the difficult woman who keeps the child away, when oftentimes you need to bite the bullet and be the difficult woman who keeps the child away. Like, I don't give a shit. Call me that. Call me a bitch. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, what you think about me doesn't matter. What I think about myself matters, and what I'm producing in my child is what matters. You're free to feel however way you want. Because the truth of the matter is, these males are scared of court. They'll threaten you, but they'll never file. Very few of them file paperwork. Very few. They're scared. They're scared to go deal with a white man. They'll threaten you, and maybe you'll believe it, but oftentimes they won't do shit. Call their bluff. And I'll say, go to the court. Go. You need a ride? I'll send you Uber to the court. Go file your paperwork. They don't do it. A lot of times we have way more power than we'd like to admit to keep our children safe. And the holy grail is supervised visitation. Because these males, many of them are not safe. If you can't manage your life, you have 3 trash bags that you're carrying from place to place. What makes you think I'm going to just give you my child and you just be responsible? You can't be responsible for yourself. How you going to be responsible for her? Doesn't make sense. You see, it doesn't make sense. That's just like the start of the situation. That's not even the whole thing. And there's so many women in very similar situations. There's women who have a gut feeling in their soul that something is not right. They feel so much anxiety when their child is gone. They don't have a sense of peace. Their womanly intuition is rate the the alarm is sounding, and they suppress their maternal instincts because of what society says, and they turn their child over to an abusive person because society says that they should. They're afraid of what their former mother-in-law would think. They don't want her gossiping at the church about them. They're worried about what such and such might say. They're worried about receiving a mean text message from the ex. I would encourage you that none of those things, like, your only mission in life is to get your child from infancy to adulthood in one piece, as healthy as possible. That's your mission. Your mission isn't to please your ex mother-in-law. Your mission isn't to try to keep your ex narcissist happy with you. Your mission isn't to be liked by the gossiping hens at the church. Your mission isn't to be liked. Your mission isn't to be a people pleaser. Your mission is to get your child from infancy to adulthood in one piece, as healthy as possible. Anybody can get cut. Anybody can get cut. If you're not contributing to the well-being of my child and you're not a positive influence, you can get cut. I don't give a shit. We have to have a cutthroat mentality when it comes to getting our children to the finish line. As mothers, we have to be fierce. We have to be fierce in our determination to get our children to the finish line. We have to. We have to be mama bears. We really do. A lot of that comes with inner confidence and inner knowing of who you are as a woman. Because when you know who you are, you're not depending on anybody to validate you and tell you that you're good, pat you on your back, or pat you on your head and tell you you're being a good girl by pleasing them, bending to their whims at the detriment of your own child and your own well-being. No. No, 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 no. Whenever you feel, I mean, it's like, I understand and I empathize with women who struggle with this conundrum, this internal conflict. I understand. And yet, and still, I will continue to encourage you to build up your confidence and to build up your inner strength so that you are moving from an internal compass and not from outside influences, and that you're filtering all the information, and you're filtering and you're vetting every single person individually, even the dad, even your own mother, even people on the other side of the family. So my other side of the family keeps calling me, and it's like, I mean, I just like, I don't know. I just kind of like didn't want to like be bothered a little bit. And then like my grandmother called me, and I just kind of been staying away. She's like, I don't know why you're not talking to me. And it just dawned on me. It's like, well, you guys have kind of like decided that pedophiles are welcome inside the family. So we have a fundamental disagreement about that. So long as pedophiles are welcome to Thanksgiving dinner, I won't be there because I feel strongly about that, and I have to keep my child safe. Yeah, you're my family, but you also don't mind having pedophiles break bread with you. So I'm going to just choose not to go over there. Like, family and blood does not entitle anybody to your time, attention, or anything. It's a reciprocal relationship, every single one. All the relationships that you engage in are because you want to. There's bringing some benefit to your life, and that you feel a sense of peace, and that those relationships are enriching you in some way, shape, or form. Yes, absolutely. Mocha Mommy says, put your children first, even the ones that are not born yet. Your wellness, mental and physical, is at a premium. Winter is coming, Black women. Do not let these homosexuals bring you down. Yes, the homosexuals are coming when it gets cold. When it gets cold, they'll be knocking on your door with their 3 trash bags. No, no, no. I learned so many lessons from that last situation. So many lessons that I do hope to share with you ladies. Because it's like maybe like when you just experience the ultimate like it can't get any more 3 trash bag carrying struggle bandit than this, like then you just like you go to the depths of hell and you learn everything that you need to learn in one fell swoop. You learn everything that you need to know. Because I knew after that, I was like, I'm never having another baby unless he can afford me a nanny. I'm never having another baby unless I can have a housekeeper. I'm never having another baby unless I get a new car. And I just like, those were my immediate gut reactions after the situation. This is like no level up information. This is like, this is no hypergamy info. This is just my, like, these are the things that I learned that I need as a woman. I need a nanny. I need a housekeeper. I need a like these are just the things and I need to be it needs to be optional if I work or not. These were just my lessons that I learned from the situation having a child with no support. Immediate gut reactions. These are the things I need. So, um emotional manipulation does not work on me. It doesn't work. So, occasionally he does get upset because I don't respond. I don't care. There's nothing that you could say. There's only one time that he's ever gotten me, like, to be get upset, that was, like, 3 years ago. Um, yeah, it was, like, 3 years ago. He needed, um, a lot of because people in the in his community, they still knew me, and I was still kind of around, and they just were like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" To him, like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Like, this woman is really amazing and very beautiful. What's wrong with you?" And so, that was hurting him. So, he needed something tangible to show people that no, 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 she's horrible. So one day out of the blue, he just was like, my baby was sick. She got sick, and we had a gap in health coverage. We had a gap in healthcare coverage because she was going from one plan to another, and the other plan hadn't kicked in yet. It wasn't going to kick in for like 2 more months. So she got sick. I had to take her in. I had to pay everything out of pocket, and I was like, hey, um, baby got sick. I took her to the urgent care and I just paid cash. And now I'm at the pharmacy waiting on her prescriptions and I'm going to pay cash for that too. Would you like to send anything towards this medical? That was my question. Question mark. And he's like, no. I say, okay, that's it. Okay. Okay. Period. Then like 5 minutes later, he texts me, you're a horrible mother. I can't believe you can't afford stuff for your child. You can't afford medicine for your child. What kind of mother are you? You're a horrible mother. And I had an emotional reaction. I did. And he saved that text message. I believe he printed it out and framed it because he doesn't have anything on me. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have anything on me. I, I'm extremely dry and nonchalant. I don't, I just, he doesn't have anything on me. So I think that once he finally got something negative, and then he texted me back. So I sent him some choice words and basically told him that I think that God was punishing him with his chronic illness. I think that God was punishing with him because he doesn't do for his children. And I do believe that. We see these dusties all over physically deteriorating. We talk about black don't crack. Well, yeah, black don't crack, but a lot of these dusties look horrible. They're aging very fast, their body's breaking down. They are dilapidated. They got all kinds of erectile dysfunction, colon cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, gout, thinning hair, dental issues, you name it, pot bellies, right? So these dusties deteriorate way faster than probably what they should. Their black is cracking. And so I did tell him, I said, I think that your health issues, you're suffering because you don't do for your children. It's a karmic thing. It's a spiritual debt that you're owed to your children. And since you don't honor them, you're being punished physically. And I meant it and I said it. He interpreted that to I wish that I was wishing death on him. And he texted me back. He's like, "Well, I sent this to my family." He said, "I sent this to my family. Thank you." I said, "Okay, whatever." You know what, little boy? I've said what have to say. I said what I said. I meant it. I stand by what I said. I don't have anything else to say about that. I have a sick child in my lap right now. I'm waiting inside the pharmacy for them to fill my prescription, and I'm about to go home and care for my baby. So you got what you want, send it out, frame it, post it online, make a t-shirt with the text message. Do whatever you feel like you need to do that will satisfy you. I don't give a shit. Put it on your car. I don't care. I said what I said. Tell me it ain't true. You can't refute what I said because I said what I said and I stand 10 toes down on what I said. I'm a woman who stands by what I say. Yes, God is punishing you for neglecting your children. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? You're experiencing your hell right now on earth due to your narcissistic selfishness. Anyway, so from that point in time, he's always had this one text message to hold over my head. It's like, okay, how old is our child? This is like your one claim to fame. It's like the one time one time you got any type of emotional reaction out of me, the one time, and throughout the course of your knowing me, and you had to go to the white meat. And I don't give a shit about anything that you say about me, so you had to attack my motherhood. Now he could say that I'm a horrible mother. I don't care. The proof is in the pudding. I'm demonstrating in my actual works with my actual child. I don't care what you could say. Oh, you're a bad mom. You're this. You're okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. Anything else? Because you're welcome to talk to the voicemail because I won't be answering the phone. I will not be answering the phone. All these narcissists are very similar. And I think like sometimes women get caught up in one particular presentation of it. And so they can miss, how it can manifest in other ways. But they have some things in common, some common themes. One of which is using people as a resource. So they don't see humans and value human connection. They see people as serving them, which is why there's so many times everything goes downhill when you have a baby. And in fact, domestic violence increases when women get pregnant. And that is because you are not paying attention to them and you're not treating them like your son. When you shift over, when you're being love bombed and you're, bringing him food in bed and running his bath water and, putting lotion on him, and you think you're being romantic, but what you're really doing is treating him like a child. And he's loving it. He's loving it. You think you're being romantic. You're treating him like a child. You might as well put some talcum powder on his ass and change him. And you don't even know what you're doing. And then lo and behold, you get pregnant, you get nauseous, you get sick, you don't have any energy. All of your energy is directed towards gestating that little baby. You can't run his bath water. You can't bring him food in the bed. You can't run his bath water. You can't serve him. Guess when he's going to act a motherfucking fool? When you can't serve him. That's why so many relationships with a narcissistic male go downhill when you get pregnant. You didn't even know who he was until you can't serve him. When you can't serve him, you see who he really is. He's just a baby. He's just a big baby. And the way tantrums show up in these underdeveloped males is violence, verbally, physically, financially, etc. That's their version of having a tantrum. You won't know who they are until you can't be of service. That's all they value from you is your servitude. So it's not like, oh, my girlfriend's pregnant. Let me step up and get an extra job. No. They're going to be complaining about where's my dinner? Why don't you have my bath water ready? Why is the house a mess? Why can't you do this? Why aren't you in the mood for sex? Why can't I have this? Why aren't you paying attention to me? Tantrums. They're not men. Everything you thought you were going to get once you got pregnant, you don't get that because you're not even with a man. You have a son. You have a grown son that you did not birth. And it's like, surprise, surprise. That's why we have to extend the courtship time. We need to see them. You need to tell these males no as quickly as possible. Some he really want to, just tell him no. Something he really wants, tell him no as quickly in the process as possible, because you need a chance to see who he is. You need to see how he's going to react. See him through a few different seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. Let him lose something that is important to him so you can see how he reacts. Ask him for some money as fast as you can. See how he reacts. Is it that he doesn't? Well, let me see how I can get what you need it for. Okay, let me see what I can do. Versus, why are you asking? Okay, okay, cool. I'm not having a baby with you. You can't give me $100. What am I about to bust it wide open for you for? You can't pay my phone bill. How you gonna pay for my midwife? That costs $5,000. How you gonna pay for a midwife, but you can't give me $100? It's not mathing. It's not adding up. I say get the information as quickly as you can to save yourself the headache. For those who want children, and this isn't color specific. This is just any male, any man, period. Any man, period. This guy that I'm dating on our second date, he brought a gift for my daughter and for me. I did not ask him. I did not ask him, an Indian guy. I did not ask him to bring me anything. I just met him for dinner, and he brought a gift for my daughter and for me. He sent dinner. I didn't even see him that night. I was just like, hey, I don't feel like cooking tonight. He's like, oh, let me send you dinner. You know what I've noticed in life? Men who want you to be comfortable as it not relate to them. So in other words, there are guys that will take you out to 5-star restaurants and stuff like that. That's because they're having fun too. So they would be going out anyway. You're just there entertaining them. But for the man who does something for you when he's not around, that's a different level of I care about you. He's not here. My daughter's enjoying the gift. He's not here to experience that. He doesn't know her. He hasn't even seen a picture of her. He just knows I have a child. He's never even seen a picture of my child because I'm very protective. You know what I mean? He don't know nothing about my baby, but he brought her a gift. I'm like, I don't feel like cooking. Oh, let me send you dinner. He's not here to eat dinner with me. The food came to the house. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for a man that wants you to be comfortable. He feels satisfied knowing that he has contributed to your comfort as a woman, or if you are a woman with children, the comfort of you and your children. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, mi amor, or is it mi amor? The Atkins Bar. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mona De Leon. Thanks for tuning in, sis. That's true. There are men who take pride in providing. Their chest pops out a little when they can give you something that you want or need. Yes, absolutely, Mocha Mommy. Something that they just want to make you more comfortable. And so that is something that I've been sharing on the channel and will continue to share on the channel, because there are so many of our women who are not comfortable or haven't really they don't have a lot of experience with being provided for. They don't have experience with it. So it's almost like, when you want a mansion or something and you've never, or just something that's like you desire it, but it just seems like it's so unattainable because you haven't had it. So you're not as familiar with it. So I feel like when there's stuff that you're not as familiar with, you're more likely to kind of go with the area that you're familiar with, which might perpetuate the same situation that you've been experiencing. Being with males who can't do anything for you, and God forbid, bringing in a child into the world that's not going to have two parents to care for the child. Because there's a lot of times women don't want to even admit that it's like, you are not co-parenting. I have one friend, her child is like 12 years old. It took her like 11 to realize that she's not co-parenting. She's not co-parenting. She's counter-parenting. She's parenting, and then she's trying to undo all the bad habits that the other half teaches. A lot of times we're out here doing what we have to do by ourselves. We don't have help. And we don't want to admit that, like, oh, because he's alive and he has a pulse. The bar is too low. The bar is too low for fatherhood. The definition of a good father, the definition of a good man, it's not accurate at this current state and time. There's too many of us who equate having a pulse and being around as being a good dad. That's not enough. Having a pulse and laying next to you isn't being a good man, coming home every night or most nights. Oh, it's a good man. And we need to do a whole nother live on that. And I'll probably link my why I don't publicly man stroke Black males anymore. I'll probably link that in there, because that's something that we need to further explore. It's making the situation worse. Undue praise. Unjustified admiration. Rewards for accomplishments not yet achieved, not even attempting to achieve. And it just, that's like a way of creating narcissists. Did you know that? When you overinflate a child's ego and you overpraise them and you just dote over them and you're just too much, that can create a narcissistic person just as much as neglect and abuse can. Children need a healthy balance of ego development and support as they begin to individuate from the mother. Too little encouragement can hurt the child. Too much praise for things that they don't like, going over and above, like not teaching the child to be accountable, can hurt them too. And we have both going on in our community with our males. Praising them over, for just basic shit. Like, do you want a cookie? Because you paid your bills? Oh, where is there a award ceremony for that? That's how I know when I'm swiping in dating apps and I see a guy says, I have a car, I got a house, and I got my life together. Guess who's swiping left? Guess who's swiping left? That would be me. You're dusty, bro. If you're putting on your dating profile that you have a car and a house and your life together, um, or you have your own apartment and you're proud of that, you're not qualified to date me. You're not even on my level. I like men who are proud of their portfolios. Their portfolio performance is popping and they're proud of that. That's the type of men I want to deal with. They're working on an acquisition. They're trying to like acquire another company within there. Like that's the type of man that I want to deal with. That's the type of accomplishment that we can brag about. Their kid just got accepted into an Ivy League university. They're proud of that. That's the kind of men that's qualified to date me. If you're proud to have an apartment and a car, you're not qualified to date me. We are not on the same level. I'm not interested in anything that you're serving. No gracias. No gracias. I'll pass. Left. So collectively, all of us, Black women, have to raise our standards. We have to be more savvy. We have to recognize when these males want to carry their 3 trash bags over to our house, over to our life, even if they're not trying to move in, but they're still coming with the 3 trash bags, some way, shape, or form. It's not about getting mad and upset and, you know, throwing a tantrum or having a fit because like, why should you tire yourself out? Why should you be tired and, worked up over their shenanigans? No, just quietly block, delete, ignore, be indifferent, focus inward on the things that you have going on and have a sense of knowing and sense of direction that's coming from within you. And don't ignore your maternal instincts. Honor your maternal instincts. Honor them. Honor your feminine and womanly instincts. Learn to listen. I have a video on how to build up your intuition. Check it out. Because there's so many times that we have squashed the voice inside of us that's leading us to safety, that's trying to keep us safe, and we'll push past that and do something that the Black male worshiping society tells us to do. We ignore what we need to do. So let's pay attention to the inner voices within ourselves and have a sense of direction that's coming from within. Stay trash bag dusty free and keep leveling up your life, right? Totally. Financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, your whole self. Continue to level up, gravitate towards people who love and care for you, who invest into you, who put positive energy and words into you, and nurture those relationships. Invest in those healthy relationships. call up people who put a smile on your face, or send them a text message just to say hello. There's so many times negative relationships can keep us from the ones that are working, because we're spending so much time and energy managing the negative relationships that we forget about the good ones. Friends and family members who love and cherish us. Or if you're dating men who you're dating who cherish you, cater to you, put you on a pedestal, treat you like a princess. Those guys. They're awesome. And I'm grateful. I am so grateful. I'm grateful for you ladies. I'm grateful for all my subscribers. And for those who took some time out of your morning to check into this live, I am so grateful to you. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please like and share. You have social media like Facebook or community page. Share your favorite video from the Afrocentric woman. I've got over 100 videos at this point on my channel. Can you believe it? I have over 100 videos. I can't believe it. So pick your favorite video from the Afrocentric woman and share it on your social media. I thank you in advance for doing that. I'm so grateful and thankful for you. Remember, beautiful, you are loved, you are cherished, you are unique, you are worthy, you are lovable, and I appreciate you.